Well, I thank the distinguished chairman from Louisiana.
You're quite welcome.
We coastal folk have to stick together.
Just a couple of distinguished guys.
Hey, first of all, Commissioner, thank you for coming in. I wanted to follow up a little bit with some of Senator Durbin's questions on fentanyl. What more can we be doing? This is such a scourge, and so much press attention and so much parent and management attention goes to border wall issues. I think a lot more Americans are dying because fentanyl's coming through our Customs and Border Protection system than because of people coming over our borders. So what more can we do to be helpful to you? You speak very generally about a few projects to try to improve mail surveillance in your testimony, but it seems like we're a long way from being close to an adequate surveillance and adequate intervention.
Yeah, I think there were some important developments in the last few weeks on this issue as well. It's been a priority administration-wide. You know, the president has a personal commitment to addressing fentanyl. I've seen that demonstrated. He engaged the Chinese president on scheduling fentanyl as a controlled substance, which really the Chinese government effort is going to be essential to addressing this, because so much of the production right now is in China, much of it illicit now. And so I think
I know you don't want to talk about ongoing investigations and prosecutions. I've been a United States attorney and I understand that. But can you at least reassure me that there is a flow of cases being prepared for presentation to United States attorneys so that Chinese individuals who are responsible for shipping fentanyl into the United States are indicted under U.S. law? And can you give me some sense of how wide that thread of cases is? Is there like one out there, or is this really a serious effort, and can we look forward in the future to continued indictments of those responsible for firing fentanyl into our country?
I think it's a really serious effort, and especially given the vector and the mail facility that Senator Durbin started the dialogue on, getting the advanced electronic data allows us to bring in our investigative partners right away. HSI, U.S. Postal Inspection Service, not only to go after the network receiving that fentanyl and putting it in pill presses, but also in who's sending it, what are the companies on this side of China who are responsible for this, and how do we go after them?
Whatever order of magnitude you are comfortable, let's say to the nearest 20 or 50 cases, how many criminal cases do you think are in process focusing on the Chinese fentanyl delivery system?
I fear that my visibility would limit the overall federal government effort with HSI, DEA, the HIDAs out there around the country, all working this issue and very focused on it. I'm personally aware of a couple dozen cases.
Okay, that are coming out of CBP.
A lot of them generated by CBP seizures that are then being expanded to address the network, yes.
Okay. Back to the wall for a minute. We've heard repeated reports in the news about Customs and Border Patrol agents saying that we want a fence, quote, fence that we can look through. That's what we need. Another one, you never want to have a barrier in place that will obstruct your vision. That seems like a pretty sensible, tactical concern for our folks to have along the border. It also seems inconsistent with a big masonry wall is the ability to see through and have situational awareness and visibility to the other side. Part of the reason that you're supporting this network of obstacles and surveillance devices rather than a C-to-C concrete solid barrier.
Yeah, it's an officer and agent safety issue to be able to have a transparent barrier so you can see threats from the other side. The President and the administration have supported the barrier that our agents are asking for that does include that capability.
And I don't know that we've got a plan yet from anybody for what is being asked for. We're being asked here in Congress to put a lot of money behind a, quote, border wall. I'm not accustomed to giving a contractor money for a project before I've seen the plan. You know, you roll it out and you look and you see it's going to go here, it's going to go there, it's going to be this high, it's going to require this much land to be condemned. Is there such a plan that you have seen for a solid border wall that actually is a real plan that a contractor could use to build off of?
So we have a plan, absolutely, a 33 segment, priority segment plan for building wall. The way we do our contracts through the Army Corps of Engineers, it's a multiple award task order contract where they compete it with American companies each time for each segment. And then it's 100% design build. So we specify the requirements. The contractors in the Army Corps come in and do the design.
So there's no place right now that a center could go and say, roll out the paper and say, this is the plan for the wall from place to place. You'd have to grab different sections in which walls are being proposed. Is that what I understand?
You can answer briefly, Mr. Commissioner.
Okay, we can give the overall plan, and we can give segment by segment. For the plans under contract, we can show how it's being built and the exact design.
Okay.
In the FY18 funded
I would like
and
to see
RGB.
that, because I think there's a lot of concern that depending on how we build this, an enormous amount of private property could be taken from American citizens, from ranches and so forth, that it could interfere with the access of livestock to reach water, that it could interfere with cutting off various facilities on the other side of the wall because you can't wall around an oxbow, for instance. There are a whole variety of concerns, and I'd like to follow up to figure out how we can see that.
Duly
Thank you.
noted.